The film begins with Gary, a tow truck driver, arriving at Maddie Barker's home to repossess her car. Maddie rushes out and tries to appeal to Gary, an old fling she had ghosted. In a funny yet frantic effort to sway his emotions, her plan backfires when a recent hookup strolls out of her house, creating an awkward scene. Gary proceeds to tow the car, leaving Maddie without her main source of income as an Uber driver. In a desperate bid to prevent her home from being foreclosed due to unpaid property taxes, Maddie rollerblades through town, pursuing Gary to a diner to recover her vehicle. She tries to lower the car and drive away, but it remains attached to the tow truck, leading to a clumsy struggle as she attempts to free it until Gary hoists the car back up. Her reckless actions land her on probation, and she's informed of the substantial taxes she owes. With her mother's house on the line and bankruptcy looming, Maddie finds herself in urgent need of a fast financial solution. Maddie also works as a bartender at a waterfront spot in Montauk, the town she's called home her entire life. During a break, her best friend Sarah shows her an unusual ad that might be the answer to her problems. The ad, posted by wealthy helicopter parents Laird and Allison Becker, offers a Buick Regal to a woman in her mid-20s willing to date their socially awkward son, Percy, in hopes of boosting his confidence before he heads off to Princeton University. Maddie visits the Beckers' home and meets Laird and Allison, who explain that Percy is shy, lacks friends, and mostly stays in his room playing video games. Though they originally wanted someone closer to Percy's age, Maddie manages to persuade them she's the right fit. She initially lies about being 29, but later admits she's actually 32. Still, her charm and clear desperation lands her the gig. She is warned that Percy must never find out about the arrangement. Laird and Allison direct Maddie to find Percy at a dog shelter where he volunteers. She dons a tight-fitting dress to seduce him and feigns interest in adopting a dog. Percy introduces her to Milo, a former police dog discharged from service. As Maddie's aggressive flirting overwhelms Percy, he grows anxious and tries to leave early. Maddie, borrowing Jim's van, offers him a ride home. However, when she takes him to her place, things go sideways. Percy panics and sprays her in the face. After Maddie awkwardly explains she just found him attractive, Percy admits he'd prefer a real date instead. Maddie agrees. Later, she returns the van to Jim and Sarah, letting them know Percy isn't going to be an easy target. Maddie then takes Percy to a bar where she's familiar with the staff and orders him a Long Island iced tea. Later, Travis, one of Maddie's exes, shows up, flashing his wedding ring. He claims Maddie running out on him was the best thing that ever happened and warns Percy not to get too attached. Maddie takes Percy to the beach, and though hesitant at first, he eventually joins her. Soon after, 3 drunk teens steal their clothes and belongings, prompting Maddie to confront and fight them until they return the items. Back in the water, Percy tells Maddie something is wrong with her. Upset, she tries to leave, but Percy demands his phone. When she refuses, he jumps on her car hood. Maddie drives off with him clinging on, and when the police give chase, she speeds away, narrowly escaping by crossing train tracks just before a train passes, losing the cops. Maddie brings Percy to her place for another attempt at seduction. She does a playful dance and encourages him to join, but stops when she notices a rash on his back, which he says is from anxiety. As Maddie applies lotion, Percy begins to open up about his past, including being mocked by classmates for sleeping in his parents' room, rumors that made him a recluse. Maddie shares an embarrassing memory of her own in return. Percy then asks Maddie for a proper date, and she agrees. They dine at an upscale restaurant, where Percy, with Maddie's encouragement, confidently plays Man-Eater on the piano, impressing the crowd. However, Maddie grows uneasy when a former classmate invites Percy to a party, stirring her insecurities. Maddie crashes the party but feels out of place among the younger, wealthier crowd. She finds Percy in bed with Natalie, though he's sick from mixing alcohol and ibuprofen. She helps him throw up, but they're interrupted by the homeowners, who ask Maddie to leave. Percy tries to defend her, but accidentally punches her in the chaos. Later, in a limo, Percy tells Maddie he wants to be with her and says he loves her. Realizing he's too drunk, Maddie refuses to go further. Laird and Allison notice Percy's growing confidence, which he credits to his relationship with Maddie. But when he says he's not going to Princeton to stay near her, Allison calls Maddie. who's starting to question the whole arrangement. Laird offers her the car without needing to continue the relationship, hoping to keep Percy on track. Unbeknownst to them, Percy is in the car and overhears everything through the speakers, including Maddie saying she could keep the car without sleeping with him, leaving him devastated. Percy invites Maddie over for lunch to meet his parents. During the meal, he begins drinking their wine and acts passive-aggressively. Later, he heads out with his coworker, Crispin, and takes the Buick into the woods, where they sabotage it by placing a rock on the gas pedal, causing it to crash into a tree, which then falls on top of the car. When Percy returns home, feeling betrayed, he confronts Maddie. The two get into a heated argument in which he accuses her of manipulating him and claims she'll be stuck in Montauk forever. Later, Gary delivers the wrecked Buick to Maddie since the car is legally in her name. She's forced to continue her Uber driving in the damaged vehicle, while Percy isolates himself again, spending his days in his room playing video games and ignoring all of Maddie's calls and texts. Eventually, Maddie manages to raise enough money to repair her car and pay off her taxes. Later, Maddie decides to sell her house. Determined to make things right, Maddie leaps onto the hood of Percy's car as he drives away. The chase ends in chaos as they crash into the ocean after Maddie accidentally catches fire from a beach barbecue grill. Panicked, Percy searches for her, and when they reunite, they tearfully apologize to each other. After reconciling, Maddie tells him she's moving to California, and Percy supports her decision. On the day Percy leaves for Princeton, he says goodbye to Laird and Allison. Maddie shows up to drive him there before heading to California, and surprises him by revealing she adopted Milo.